So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our story. We actually came here in November and December, um, and we saw some places then. We saw, I believe, Sam Tower, which is on the other side of the river. We saw another one that was like a hotel that doubled as an apartment, and we saw a few other places. Um, but once we first got here and we saw how our Airbnb was and how the pictures were nice, but it was a little bit deceptive because it smelled like mold. And then when we got here, I think we checked out like a few places. But based on that, and then we were also the entire month of December and January, we were already in these Facebook groups and we already saw what kind of apartments were available and what kind of prices they were going for. Um, so once we saw this place, and it was kind of hard, like once we got here, it was kind of hard to find places because we'd book an appointment, we'd show up, and then the realtor would say, hey, someone already paid the deposit, and they already snagged the spot. So our first day was pretty challenging when it came to looking for rentals. And so we had a pretty specific box. And as soon as we saw this place and it fit our requirements, it was new, modern, clean, it had a view, it had a balcony, we decided to just pay the deposit as quickly as possible just to snag it up and make sure that we didn't lose it. And that way we could avoid lots more apartment hunting, because we only did apartment hunting for like 2 days, but it was already starting to get exhausting looking at the places and seeing that most places weren't up to par to what we were looking for. So yeah, that's definitely why we took it, and that's why, you know, if this is an $835 apartment, and it is a premium, but it was a premium that we were willing to pay for it meeting our requirements of being new, clean, not smelling like mold, having a view, having a balcony. All those things were important to us. So it fit all the boxes, and if that's what 835 gets us, that is, you know, the price that we're willing to pay. And then next, there is construction noise. And I know a lot of people might be like, oh, that's way too high of a price to be paying for something with construction noise. But I think the reality out here is that there's so much building going on that there's almost construction everywhere, and it's really hard to escape it. We did look at a few places to move on from here because our lease was ending. And literally one of the first places that we checked out, it was just, we got up and we literally pulled up to a construction site. The spot across the street was constructing, 3 floors of construction. The building that we walked in was 3 or 4 floors of construction. It's almost as if, you know, no matter where you go, you're not going to be able to avoid the construction. And the more people that we talk to that are out here, everyone's kind of coming to the same agreement that you can't avoid the construction. Even if you go 20 minutes away from the middle of Da Nang and you go to like FPT City Da Nang, which is also an up-and-coming place, but it's a smaller, more rural college town. Even there's construction almost everywhere as well, and there's going to be they're going to continue to get construction because it's up and coming, and there's a lot of development going on. So yeah, that construction, it's just, you know, it's hard to get away from, and it's just a price you need to pay to live out here. So I don't know if the mic will pick this up, but you could hear drilling above me. You could hear some hammering to the side of me. You could hear some hammering in the hallway. But definitely, you could hear above me, there's some sort of drilling going on. And so that usually starts around 6 in the morning. Maybe it ends around 6 p.m., give or take. And some nights we hear it past that. In the nighttime, like 9, 10 p.m., randomly we'll hear like drilling going on. But it's that nighttime drilling isn't so frequent. But this construction noise of the drilling, you definitely get it for probably 8 hours a day, give or take, maybe more. As far as costs are concerned, I pay $8 for Wi-Fi per month, and our Wi-Fi is pretty fast. And then for water and power, my first month we paid $29 for the month for that utility. Other than that, in order to get this apartment, we signed a 3-month lease. All 3 months were due at signing, and a 1-month deposit was also due. And we paid for all of that basically in cash. And I had a good realtor that was pretty reputable. She's with a good real estate company here as well. You know, she had a business card and all that stuff, so it was pretty easy to, I guess, trust her and be confident knowing that I could give my deposit to her, especially since, you know, they show you the apartment and they sign the lease agreement with you. They take pictures of you giving the deposit, and then, you know, on your move-in day, they'll actually show up, meet you here at the apartment, and collect the money from you there while you're getting, you know, your keys. So when you're doing something like that, it's a little bit easier to trust them and kind of, you know, give you some assurance that everything is legit. I will say one other expense to possibly budget for is a mattress topper, which is, you'll see here, it's like something like this. We got this mattress, this was our first one, but this was like, it was like as hard as a rock. It's very firm. And we got this one for, this one you could see it in the video. It's actually a little softer. But I think this was like 40 bucks US, so it's not too bad. I did see it, JYSK, they have some other mattresses there that are a little bit softer, but I think it's like $600 to $800 if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that price. I didn't get the exact price, but it was a little up there. So if you do want a mattress like that, you do need to be prepared to spend. That, and I went to another meetup out here, and one of the jokes that they were making that night is that the mattresses would be rock hard. So I guess it's a common thing out here. But yeah, I think if you go to some other stores, you probably could find some softer mattresses, but you will have to pay a premium to get them. If you got any value from this video, please give me a follow on YouTube, or like or comment on the video. It would really help me out and really help me grow the channel. Thanks.